Planty people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of how I like to package my plants in order to send them out for trades or gifts or what have you. I know I've seen a lot of YouTubers do a lot of these videos, so if it sounds a little bit redundant, I'm sorry. But I'm going to be packaging up that Hoya obovata that I had in my giveaway. He's still been under my care. He's still doing very well. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for Add the Aeroids. Congratulations, Add the Aeroids. And I'm also going to include an extra little cutting of my philodendron brantianum for this lovely person. So a few supplies that you need to make sure that you have on hand is 1, a box, 2, some scissors, some tape, and maybe some cotton and saran wrap, and maybe like some paper towels. But that's just kind of like what I like to use, especially since we're kind of packaging up 2 different types of items. So one's going to be a cutting wrapping and one's going to be an actual potted plant. I really like repurposing boxes that I've already bought from, you know, previous planty things, and I think this box will be plenty good. But before we do it, we should just, you know, measure it to make for sure. And I think that's a pretty good measurement. I'm gonna, you know, pack in the sides and everything too. So let's go ahead and start off preparing our plants to ship. You never want to ship your plant whenever it needs to be watered. You always want to make sure that you water it a day or so in advance so that the leaves have enough time and the foliage has enough time to soak up all the water, and you get less dropped leaves that way. Both of my plants have been watered within the last 2 or 3 days, so they're good to go. Let's go ahead and package up the Hoya obovata first. I'm first going to take some paper towel or whatever you have around you. Like if you have some previous wrapping that you've gotten in previous orders or whatever you have around you, you can just tape it on the top so that we make sure that the soil stays in the pot as best as we can. Obviously, we can't always guarantee that every single, you know, tiny bit of soil is going to stay in there, but we can do our best to prevent that from happening. I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to make a nice little slit in our paper towel, and I'm essentially just going to, you know, poke it around the stem as best as I can. Let me just do it like this so you can see a little bit better. See, this way we have literally almost everything covered so that we get as much soil retention as possible. Now I'm just gonna tape it down on all the sides and we should be good to go with this guy. All right, and that is what we have thus far. Like, I don't think literally much of any soil is going to be coming out of this guy. So next will be to take a nice fresh cutting from our philodendron brantianum, and always want to make sure that you know, get some nice good healthy a nice good healthy cutting from your plant to ensure that it will make it through shipping and everything. And where do I want to cut? I don't want like the absolute newest foliage because I haven't had the best luck with new foliage arriving, you know, alive. So I'm going to give a cut off of this branch because it looks like it's got some really good healthy leaves and some new growth, which all of my vines at the moment have a little bit of new growth. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's like these little tiny, almost aerial roots They're not very long, but they are there, and I'm going to make sure I include those in with my cutting. So this is the cutting I made. Yeah, there's quite a few different spots that it could be rooted in. So if he wants to, he could make several other cuts along this along the stem to, get, a smaller plant but a fuller pot eventually. Or you could just root this one little area and just have a nice long vine. To each their own. For me, I would want to ensure that the vine is nice and healthy before I decided to start chopping it up. But the next step for me is I take a already moistened paper towel, like so, and I like to wrap up the ends to keep it from drying out and withering away into nothingness while it's in the mail. Next, I would take a piece of saran wrap and wrap that up so that the paper towel doesn't dry out too quickly before it gets to where it's supposed to go, to its new home. And then sometimes I like to be a little extra precautious, and I put this in a Ziploc bag. Sometimes I add a little bit of cotton, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I tend to only do it with plants that I'm a little bit more weary of, and since this does have a new growth, I'll make sure that I wrap it around the new growth mainly to ensure that it doesn't get harmed on its way over to its new home. So now that I feel good about the cotton, I'm just going to go ahead and slide this puppy into the Ziploc bag. Like so. I'm going to add a little bit of air to it. And we should be good to go. All right, so you see the empty space that we have. We're going to stick our plant in here to see, kind of how it's going to be going. And then I add a lot of cotton because I want to ensure that it doesn't get hurt and smushed and damaged, especially since this is a giveaway plant. All right, now that looks pretty nice and safe for the most part. So now I'm going to add my cutting in onto the other side into a corner. And by doing this, it just kind of helps there to be less movement, less shaking. So the less shaking we can have with our plants, the better. I'm going to scoot it this way instead. All right. I always like to just top it off with a little extra cotton as well because I'm crazy. And this stuff is like so cheap, it's insane. I got mine from Walmart. I'm sure you could get it from Target or somewhere else or Amazon. All right. And you think that we're done. Well, we're not done. You know why? Because we like to personalize our, I like to personalize things whenever I ship them out. So I always write everybody a little personal letter of, thanking them or telling them a little bit of information about the plants. But I know for a fact that this person is very knowledgeable on plants, so I didn't really do that. I just said, thank you for entering the giveaway. You're awesome, and etc., etc. So we're going to package it up, and then we're going to taper right up. I'm trying to hide this because it has my address to it, and it's not my P.O. box, it's my actual address, so you're not allowed to see that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and taper up, and I'm going to go ahead and mail her out today. So Braden, I'm so excited for you to get your new babies, and I can't wait to see pictures of them. All right, Planty people, that's all we have for today. Bye!